we are. We're live. So today we have Brandon and Joey. They're two good friends of mine. And we're kind of just hanging out. Ironically, we are going to hang out after this in person. Socially distanced, of course, but yeah. The reason I'm having you guys on...
Sex?
What?
Fuck, what's all this for?
Not that.
You said we're not gonna have sex?
No. The reason I'm having both of you guys on, though, is because both of you claim to be Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
I don't claim to be Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I claim to have filled out a form.
Yeah, and that's why he didn't fill out the form, because he just claimed that he's not Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
I have search
fucked
history as a...
Okay, so...
Yeah, well, you know what? I would also like to point out the fact that Brandon once said to me in private that he scammed Best Buy by using a fake browsing loading device to scam the cashiers. So
Wait,
anything
what?
on your phone can be fake, Brandon.
But that wouldn't affect my browsing history. What I did was I used Inspect Element on my phone instead of on my computer, and I just changed the price on the...
Yo, Brandon photoshopped it. That's crazy.
I didn't Photoshop. I didn't even do that. I changed the actual site. So...
Oh. I remember that.
Yeah, because if you go into developer mode, you can do Inspect Element on your phone, not just on your laptop.
Okay, so basically the debate here is I have my application form for anyone who wants to be a guest on the podcast, and I got a submission, like the second or third submission was like, it said Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and they wanted to talk about the Evilmobile and how they fought a platypus. And I assumed it was Joey, because that's just like something Joey would do. So when I asked, he was like, yeah, that was me. But then Brandon was like, so did you get my Dr. Doofenshmirtz submission? And then I was like, I thought it was Joey. And then they went back and forth claiming that they did it.
Yeah, so let me just clear this up right now. It wasn't Brandon.
Brandon's browsing history. I will pull up the fucking pictures of my
Brandon, the people don't know about your actual history. You've had a thing against Dr. Doofenshmirtz since you were born. All right, this is biased.
Yeah. That's a screenshot. I mean, it could be fake.
That's a screenshot. Yeah, you can.
That could be fake.
Bro, I May 2nd on my actual search history.
Dog, you can nothing you show me will convince me because
all right,
I know the truth, Brandon.
We're not here to talk about this though. We're here to talk about cars.
You said that we're here to talk about this.
Dude,
hey,
yeah, we're gonna...
That's why I'm having you on, but you're on here to talk about cars. So right, Brandon is the in-house volume knob specialist. So have you touched any good volume knobs lately? You're right touching now. Your what? Okay.
Right,
I mean, in cars. What?
It says I'm not on wheels right now.
Not a car brand.
Your setting. Okay, what cars have you been in that's been exciting lately?
My own, my Datsun 240Z.
Which doesn't have any volume knobs.
Yeah. I haven't been in any other cars other than my own, because you know. Yeah,
it's pretty accurate. Nice. Nothing since the auto show.
No. But you know, the LC500 still has a really impressive volume knob for me.
Oh yeah.
I still think about that sometimes. The fact that it was so firm and felt like a stereo and didn't have any notches and it was like a fully metal knob, that was crazy.
The LC500 has a hybrid version, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ray's dad got to drive it.
It might not even have an engine, but it's got a volume knob, and that's all I'm here for.
Just turn up the volume. That runs on volume power.
Yeah.
But you got the Datsun running again.
Yeah, but I'm taking off insurance now. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean...
Are you sure you don't want to keep it on? I mean, that donut could last you another few months.
Well, I was driving it, and it just suddenly started rattling. Which I found extremely disturbing, that like the entire car started rattling. So
why would that happen?
So you have a 50-year-old donut on your car? Yes,
I have a 50-year-old donut.
Cool. And now the donut's rattling?
No, it just like doesn't hold air, so like you can feel it leaking air as you drive.
Oh yeah,
nice.
well,
Yeah.
it's probably so dry rotted that it's just leaking through the
Well,
sidewall.
obviously, a race car driver had that car before you because they knew the value of low PSI runs. So.
Well, so something interesting about all the previous owners of my car is that they all eventually owned a 911 afterwards.
But do you own a 911?
Well, no, and they all
Not
started
yet.
businesses.
Not yet.
They all started businesses and eventually owned a 911.
So that's the wave.
And they also all acquired the car at the age of like 18 or 19, I think.
Well,
Dang, well, you're already one strike in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm 2. Started a business. Got the car at the age of 18. So there's a 911 in my future.
I mean, what would it be, an air-cooled 911?
One of the guys actually
don't get an air-cooled one.
What?
964.
I mean, they're sick, but
the previous owner has a 964 turbo.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's sick.
I saw like a wild 964 turbo. Not that long ago. Where was I? I don't know. I was up like driving by the mountains, and it was just like sitting there, and I had my camera with me, so I just pulled over and took pictures of it. No idea whose it was.
Oh, it was red, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those pictures. I liked them.
Mm-hmm. Joe, you don't like air cooled?
They're cool and all, but like, dog, what are you gonna do when it's hot out?
Throw more air at it.
Yeah, dog, but like, but for here it would suck in Jersey. Like driving that car here would not be fun. You have to take that somewhere where you can actually enjoy it.
I mean, Bear Mountains.
911s. It's not just that they're air cooled. Like that's not what makes them cool. It's the fact that it's like, it's the last generation of like old school 911. So like the 964, for example, like their chassis were kind of considerably heavy for the time. Mm-hmm. Like we think of them as light cars now, but if you actually read the reviews back in the day, people called them the heavy 911s. But those chassis are so stiff and so strong, you know, that there's just like something special about the way that they drive. Or the rear suspension was still old stuff. It wasn't like completely multi-link. Like they still felt distinctly 911.
Mm.
From what I know, I've never driven one, so.
All I know is that goals.
Any 911 you drive is going to be a part of some kind of history. So.
All right. Well,
just go for it.
911, like Porsche 911s are like the benchmark for like handling in cars, more or less. And
well, I wouldn't say for handling, for being a driver's car. They've won the most Motor Trend Driver's Car of the Year awards.
Okay, well, generally, like overall, they're just great driving cars. But someone drove my RX-8. I don't want to say who it is on the podcast, but
it was me.
No, someone who drove my RX-8.
How many times did I ask you if I could drive that car?
Brandon, you're not driving. Liability. You're a liability.
All right,
but insurance risk.
Someone who drove my RX-8 said that they liked driving it better than a 996 turbo.
Okay, well maybe that person just doesn't have good taste.
I've never driven a 996 turbo, but I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I have driven neither car. I also find that hard to believe.
Wait, those
you can't drive stick.
Yeah, I said I said I haven't driven either car.
Yeah. But you should learn stick.
I find that so hard to believe that it would be better than a 996.
I kind of need a stick.
I don't know. Maybe it was just like an in the moment thing. They were like, "Wow, this drives so great," but.
But what notes did they say about it was better than the 996?
I don't exactly remember. I remember he just loved the handling, and that's kind of like. That was like his big thing. He just said it handles better than the 996. It does handle good. It's the best handling car I've owned. Not that I've owned many cars, but like,
dog, you had
are
you telling me the Odyssey? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that wasn't even mine.
Exactly.
I drove
the Odyssey.
I liked driving the Odyssey.
Dude, the Odyssey was comfy.
The thing with minivans is that they're like better than you think.
Yeah, no, but like you still feel like you're gonna die going through a corner.
Well, yeah, but like they're not
Least
meant
I'm
to
doing.
like corner like that.
Yeah, the
Brandon
steering was
doesn't
horrible.
understand that. Any car you say is not meant for cornering, he's like, nah, you could do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's
Send
pretty
it.
accurate. That's an accurate
Just
assessment
send
of
it.
Brandon's taste in cars.
You could just send it. Listen, there's
True.
two things that matter: that you could turn the car and turn the volume knob. That's it.
Turn the car? Like which way?
Left, right.
Forwards,
Those two ways
backwards.
the car can go.
That's the only way I could turn my car or my truck right
Yeah.
now. Has no power steering. Rip.
Have you been
So
driving
anyone
that?
interested? No. No, I have not.
I drove the RX-8 with no
Dog.
power steering for like a month. I mean, it's a
I'm
lot
not
lighter.
Dude, I'm not driving my F-150 with the with the off-road tires. It's not even four-wheel drive. It's a rear-wheel drive. Dog, that thing can't even turn at all. I would die.
I've only ever driven my Datsun without power steering.
Okay,
It
but
didn't
that
come with
car
power
weighs
steering.
a significant
Exactly.
amount less.
Who needs it? It's just extra
Yeah.
weight.
Brandon's Datsun's actually the most fun car I've been in.
Have you been in it?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
taking me on rides.
Yeah, no, that's
the
a
first
really
time
fun.
we went on a ride, we had to go change our shirts after because we were just fucking sweating.
Yeah,
But wait, my favorite thing is like sometimes you would just like go into silence when I would go through a corner.
Yeah, because there was nothing I could say that would help me. at
go.
that moment. Just like, all right.
Just like go mute.
I can personally attest to that as well. Because just like, first of all, the experience of being in the
let's not
Datsun.
distract him.
Yeah, no,
let him
exactly.
focus. He's
But
got this.
No,
the
my
experience
favorite-
of
my
being in the Datsun, it's like just so like it's a raw driving experience, and there's like no interior really, just like the seats.
When we hit a bump and we see all like the shit in the back just jump up,
Yeah, like
Just all the
what's even
fucking,
in the
like-
back?
just
No,
like
there's nothing in
fucking.
the back right now.
There's
Isn't
nothing.
there like
Or are you talking
paint?
about like
Well,
dirt particles?
yeah,
Just-
like dirt
yeah,
and, like,
yeah,
paint
that.
chips maybe, and, like random car crap.
You know what
Yeah.
my favorite
Just
was?
float.
My favorite car to drive people around in was my Infinity, my G37, the manual one that I had. That was
Yeah,
so that thing was fast. And
yeah. We went to New York in that, didn't we?
yeah, well, I never did crazy shit with you in that car. But my
No,
favorite thing-
not what you consider crazy shit. But
I know, but like I've even driven Jevin in that car. And he just like he would go mute.
Because
that's how you know you need to stop. You need to slow down.
your
Yeah.
level of like normal
never-
driving is like here. Most people's is like here, like casual driving. Your casual driving's here, and then like my like kind of like aggressive driving is like where your normal driving is.
Yeah, my aggressive driving is like below Brandon's normal driving.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Do you know what it is though? It's not that I'm like actually pushing the car. In actuality, I'm just like smooth. And the car
like your
just
brain
goes.
is just smooth and doesn't understand fear. It's
No,
just
it's like
Fear just
Well, yeah,
wipes
that.
right off your brain.
that's definitely like a part of it.
You're like
I'm
a
just, like,
duck.
yeah, I've gotten so used to going fast that it just like it doesn't even like hit me like, oh, we're going fast. Like, but the thing is like I'm just smooth with the inputs where like I could be giving barely any throttle and it'll just go through the corners.
Yeah, I mean that's when you've like achieved like the perfect balance of your car. When you don't
Yeah.
have to put effort into it.
Exactly. Like once you like just get the balance, you'll just go faster.
I think the best way to go fast is to just like hit the gas really hard and then you just go.
Yeah, you have a GTO, so you could just do that.
Vacation that anybody should ever make.
Wait, you both just cut out at the same time.
I didn't
think
say
we just
anything.
split out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying that I think the best modification that you can make for your car, or like the first one you should ever make, is your seating position.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, when you first get into the car, you want to just make sure you slam your seat all the way back, about like here. Lock it.
I don't understand how people could drive like that.
Yeah, I
It's
can.
mad comfortable, that's why.
Nah.
I mean, I can't because just don't have the physical demands to meet that kind of seating position.
Yeah. How you sit so close that you have to move your seat back to get into the car.
I'll probably not be alive.
Yeah.
No, it's like why?
Well, for reference, how tall are you, Joey?
7'2".
Yeah. So for reference, he's 7'2". So like clearly he has to sit very close to reach the pedals.
Well, my body is 7'2", but my legs are like 2'3". So like I can't reach the pedals.
Oh, yeah, I got you. So you have to stick your head out the sunroof.
I actually don't have a sunroof.
Oh, you have a little head hole.
A head hole?
Yeah.
No. David,
No?
that's ridiculous.
All right. Has anyone driven your GTO ever besides you?
Yeah. My dad and my brother-in-law.
Oh, your brother-in-law is really tall.
Yeah, he barely fit in it.
That's funny.
I don't think anybody's driven my Datsun.
I drove your Datsun a couple times. Not like a real drive. I drove in a neighborhood once and then through a parking lot.
Yeah.
All I remember is that your lack of power brakes just like scared me because I didn't expect that. So I was like, the brake pedal is like rock solid.
It's a good feel though, because the solidness. Like one thing I didn't like about my Infiniti, like overall I thought it was a really great car, but one of the small things I didn't really like was that sometimes when you lift off the brake pedal, like if you suddenly release, there's like this kind of like this, like like how you hear like a hissing noise, like the air pump. There's like air behind brake. Yeah, I didn't like that when you release, it was like not immediate, like it would just release with you.
It like stayed down a little bit.
Yeah, it would like stay there for like a second. And the reason why they do that is because like, especially with cars with stronger brakes, like a lot of people don't know how to trail brake.
Wait, so that's intentional?
Yeah, it's designed in there so that way you can't just like lift off.
But it's a sports car, like by nature.
Well,
it's supposed to be a sports car.
Depends on the car. Like the Infiniti Q50 has that, but then
that makes sense.
The Honda Accord that I had didn't because the brakes weren't strong enough where it would matter.
I didn't know that was actually something that they like made into the cars.
Yeah, I don't like it though because like if you can trail brake, it sucks because it kind of like screws up the feel on release.
Yeah, it sounds like it just makes it very unpredictable for braking.
I mean, eventually you learn it, and it is predictable because it's consistent. But it's just like I would like that like no lag feel. So like I actually like in the cars that do that, you have to lift off earlier than you actually want to lift off. But it's only like a millisecond.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a millisecond.
My brakes come right apart. As soon as I want to go, brakes open. No hissing. No ground.
I mean, part of that's probably just because your engine has so much more horsepower.
Yeah, then I probably can't hear anything. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, your car is mad loud.
It smells too because of the straight pipe.
Oh, because it just comes out right under it basically comes out right under the driver's seat.
About like maybe a foot and a half past the driver's seat.
Oh, okay.
Don't you also have that valve that doesn't work?
Yes, it got froze open.
It's the best way to have
now your car is always loud.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad it froze open because I used to. What?
I think Ori's here outside my window. I'm doing a podcast right now. Go away.
That's weird. Ray typed something in chat, but it says message retracted. Crazy.
Yo, I don't think he could see me. I'm sitting right here.
Three.
Who is it? Can we see who it is?
It's
Ori. Probably me, you, and David.
Oh wait, no, I meant on the YouTube.
Oh, he's watching the podcast.
I'm not on the YouTube.
Ori's watching the podcast right now and standing outside my window. This is a first.
How much of a delay is
there? It's about like a 10-20 second delay.
Oh, okay. So if I say "fuck you, Ori," it'll take 20 seconds to get there.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
So you acted yet?
Okay, well that was interesting. I don't know what he's doing here.
I just heard
Can you hear him yelling?
I just heard him yell.
Well, okay, we have a surprise fourth guest, but only through my wall.
Via through the wall.
Yeah.
What is Ori doing there? Did his Jeep
know.
Patriots wheel hub assembly break again?
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. I have to take my webcam down. I don't think you could. Yeah. Hold on.
Wait, where do you
doxing? Oh, there
where you live? That's crazy.
This is.
We just saw a shoulder. We will only ever get a muted and tiny view of Ori.
Yes.
The best view.
All right. Well, that happened. Brandon, you wanted to talk about Formula One.
Yeah, I love Formula One. Do you have any questions about it?
Well, I haven't kept up with anything other than that Vettel is no longer with Ferrari. So catch me up.
All right, so 2020 season hasn't happened yet. It's apparently coming back, and the first race is going to be in Austria, which I'm pretty excited about.
When's it coming back?
Sometime in June.
Okay.
But I'm extremely excited about the fact that Vettel lost his seat at Ferrari. So basically, Vettel was always the king at Ferrari. He always talked about how, he's a 4-time world champion, but his goal was always to win a championship with Ferrari and basically emulate Michael Schumacher. But he fell out with Ferrari because Charles Leclerc basically came in as his teammate. He was this young guy. It was only his second season in Formula One.
Yeah, I remember when Leclerc came on, and he was just like amazing.
Yeah, he beat Vettel in the championship.
Wow.
And now, they're really evaluating Charles Leclerc as the future. He's he's from Monaco, so there's kind of an interesting thing about that, since Formula One and Monaco are very tied together. And he won at the Tifosi in the Italian Grand Prix. So Italy loves him, and they're essentially realizing that he's the future. So they dropped Vettel because Vettel wants to be number one in the team, but Charles Leclerc is clearly better, so he's kind of the new number one at Ferrari. And then that means that there was a seat open, and I think that they made the best choice and picked Carlos Sainz.
Oh, did they?
Who's the new? Yeah. So, kind of a history behind Carlos Sainz's career. Him and Max Verstappen entered Formula One at Toro Rosso, and they were both very, very closely matched. But Max Verstappen was a little bit better at the time, so he got the promotion to Red Bull. And then Sainz stayed at Toro Rosso for a little bit, and then he was kind of getting sick of being there. But then he went to Renault. He didn't do too great there, and then ended up going to McLaren the year later. But if he stayed at Toro Rosso, because of the fact that Daniel Ricciardo left, he would have actually ended up at Red Bull. But I think overall he lucked out because now he's at Ferrari. Which is going to be extremely spectacular for him. And also, last year McLaren had a much better season than they had in the past few years, and they actually were the best of the rest. So they placed fourth in the Constructors' Championship. And Sainz was the leading point scorer for McLaren. So he really proved himself, and he was wildly consistent. Every single race, he was wildly consistent, and he did extremely well. Last year was his best season. He also won his first podium last year in a McLaren, which was amazing. And yeah, I think his consistency is really what's going to make him shine at Ferrari and be a really great number two to Charles Leclerc. And now that McLaren has a seat open, Daniel Ricciardo, who didn't do very well at Renault, is actually going over to McLaren in 2021. And McLaren is actually going to have a Mercedes engine in it.
Really?
Which is going to, so that means that, there are some promising things there. And for people who were Formula One fans years ago, McLaren Mercedes was number one. That's what made Lewis Hamilton famous. So
that's exciting.
Exciting stuff there.
So June is supposed to, do they have a date or just June?
They have a date. I just don't remember it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out then. I know NASCAR just restarted. They had a race last night, but no spectators or anything. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I didn't watch it. I just knew that it was on, so I thought it was interesting that racing was already like starting back up again. I honestly thought it would be like another month or two.
I mean,
Yeah.
they don't.
Formula One is.
They're all in cars.
No, yeah.
The only thing you have to worry about is what, the pit crew.
The pit crews. That's what I was like concerned about.
You're just gonna put masks on. They don't give a. They don't care. They don't
Formula
care.
One is like
especially in the states where
race.
racing is popular. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah,
I mean, those are also the states that like aren't as bad.
Formula One travels around the world.
Yeah.
So does Rona.
Yeah. No, they travel around the world. That's like kind of insane.
No, I know that they're starting up and they're going to be going international.
Yeah, like that's pretty crazy considering like none of the cars could fly yet. That's when it's gonna get nuts.
You know, okay. I mean, obviously, okay, the cars don't drive themselves, but Formula One is like one of the biggest like logistics feats that like happens ever. Because you organize the cars, like they have like the tiers of like importance. So like obviously the drivers, the cars, and then like anything that's absolutely essential for the cars to run, they get shipped by plane to wherever the next race is going to be. And then everything else, so like there's like all like they have like their own wait staff and like their own like just like their teams that go with them. They all like are like lagging behind. So like the cars and the racers and everyone essential for that is there like days before anyone else gets there.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
Yeah.
And even that's only considering what it takes to put on a race. And also keep in mind a lot of these circuits are not near airports. They're like deep in the mountains. So they have to land these planes, then they have to load the cars onto trucks and then drive these trucks on windy mountain roads.
It's like
and then
actually insane. Like I don't know how they do it.
Because they have so much money.
Close down the roads.
Just
you have to build a circuit in a matter of like a day because you don't want traffic for a whole week.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, and the circuits that they build are like there's a lot that goes into it. Like all those sponsorship signs, then like all the fences, the markings and everything.
And then keep in mind sometimes they have to fix up like potholes on the roads or like weld manholes down.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have to add the curbing. Then you have to add the grandstands. Then you have to add the venue around the grandstands, like the food and stuff like that.
And then the whole technical side of it too, setting up all the cameras.
And then you have like the yachts around, and you have to make sure the casinos are good, and then you have to make sure that security is tight around, so that way people can't enter without tickets.
Yeah, it's.
And then you have, and we're not even talking about the cars, what it takes to be a constructor and build those cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder how that compares to Atlanta, dog. You see that recent bust with all the street racing or the underground street racing thing that made news?
No, what was it?
They impounded a ton of cars and they found like 4 guns. I forget where the article was. It was in Atlanta. Yeah. Dude,
so
imagine just being like the people in street racing, like the logistics of that are even crazier. Like it to some extent, like not in like the mass scale, but like some of the stories I've heard, like
just like of individuals.
On VinWiki, like on a VinWiki store I was watching, this one dude was talking about how he organized a street racing thing, and they raced illegally for like 8 hours, and the way they would do it is they sent like a group of cars one way, and the cops would go like another way, and then they'd have the other cars come around and race the other way within like a set time period, and they never got caught.
That's actually pretty crazy.
Day. Yeah, street racing for 8 hours.
That's crazy.
8 hours.
Like that. It's not like on the same scale as NASCAR, obviously.
Yeah.
Stupid?
I mean, they're cops. How could you not figure out where the cars are coming from? You just follow the sound.
Like,
so they just kept tricking them. So they just had like.
You gotta realize. You gotta just be like, wait a second. We should just like realize the pattern and just do the opposite. You can't be that stupid. Oh my god.
I don't know.
Or he's just that smart.
Recently there was a video of...
And that's just like what you hear about.
Yeah, that's true. No, recently there was a video of a Challenger Hellcat that was... It was in a high-speed police chase on the highway. I think it was Texas.
Is that the white one?
It was outrunning the helicopter.
Yeah.
Like the helicopter couldn't even keep up.
The helicopter goes like what, 130 to 150?
Their max speed was 126. Right, yeah.
Oh, like, dude, yeah, you're gone.
It was crazy, and like he actually like disappeared around the mountain. I think they just stopped pursuing him.
I think he ditched the car or something, but like he definitely got away.
Yeah, I don't know what the outcome was, but all I saw in the video was he just disappears because he goes so far away.
Doesn't that make you think, like, with how powerful cars are getting and they're going to be, like, what is stopping the level of drivers from purchasing these cars besides money?
Exactly. That's the craziest thing.
Do you think someone with, like, who is honestly just, like, not a great driver, not pays attention, should have access to something that can outrun a police helicopter?
No, not at all.
I feel like
just show up with some money. And you could have a car.
I feel like your license should only control up to a certain like amount of power and like range.
But
that's no fun.
The Mercedes Project One is a road legal car with a Formula One engine in it.
Yeah.
It's
just like absurd. Yeah. Like you could just show up with money. That's it. You just need to show up with money.
And I have the same thing with like people with giant SUVs with giant Escalades, and it's like you don't know how to drive that. That's you need a CDL for that thing, dog. Like they're huge.
Modern big SUVs are very drivable these days.
Yeah.
Well,
it just because all the sensors around it.
Yeah, you think they would help?
I mean, around here though, it's like noticeably worse, just because there's like the number of drivers and the number of like idiots on the road.
It's because we're in the most densely populated state, so it's gonna suck. But it's just fun. I drive my mom's Jeep. It's not even a big thing. It's a tiny SUV. Drive my mom's Jeep around. That thing is like, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Jumping between like a small car and then an SUV is just like not enjoyable.
Dude, when I go to turn, I'm like, why is the Jeep tipping over? Why?
Yeah, the Jeep death wobble.
I think every car should just be Datsun 240Z.
See, I agree with that, but I think in the opposite. I think every car should be a 1970 455 HO Trans Am. Every car.
I mean, if I were to say every car should be a Rotary, I would probably disagree with myself.
We would just have horrible gas prices.
Horrible, yeah. That, I mean, people will be junking their cars all the time, because they're on the blown apex seals, and it'd be a very wasteful society.
So, Dave, what are you doing with your RX-8? Are you doing anything else?
Yeah, well, I mean, right now, I don't exactly have income to spend. But what my plan was to finish... Well, my wheels have to get powder coated because the spray paint that I was doing turns out that when you clear coat it, it changes the color, so it looks ugly. So I'm taking it to get powder coated. And then I have coilovers that I want to do. And then I wasn't going to do an intake initially, but I think I am now. Just because... I had an issue actually come up. There's this intake solenoid that the solenoid just stopped working, which was causing my car to like run really weird. So I took that out, and that's kind of like half the process that you have to do when you get a cold air intake anyway. So I figured if I already did half the work, I might as well just like get a cold air intake. because like why not? Also, it frees up a lot of space in the engine bay as well. So that's the short-term plans.
They help your car in higher RPM ranges, but in lower RPM ranges, they're not as good.
For the RX-8, they basically don't do anything like noticeable. But
spending the money.
What?
So you're spending the money on it?
Yeah, because I mean, eventually, like long term, I plan on like porting the engine, getting it tuned. So in that case, having the cold air intake would actually like be.
It's noticeable,
beneficial.
Yeah, when you start to add other parts to it.
Yeah.
When you start bottlenecking your engine bay because you're adding a ton of other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be really adding much to this engine just because like you kind of can't. So the only thing, if I keep this engine, I'll just like get a street port, and then I'll have big braps. Yeah, I'll have big braps. That's just what I want.
Do you think about your RX-8 as like a lifelong car? And same like Joey, do you think about your GTO as a lifelong car?
Yeah, probably.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, mine has a lot of sentimental value too.
That's true.
Just because, like, I mean, it kind of is because it's an LS2 with not that much mileage. So if I wanted to work on an or have a high horsepower project, like maybe I want to have a track car in the future, I could just get it daily because it's not like, I don't know, it's not going to be easy to find another car in as good a shape as my car with low mileage and an LS2. So
yeah,
kind of like, yeah, might as well just keep it and build it in the future.
My car is what?
Yeah, I was about to ask the question.
Yeah, my car is probably not going to be a lifetime car. I'll probably have it longer than any previous car. This sounds stupid, but it's just like it's not old enough for me to have it as a lifetime car. Like for me, if I want a lifetime car, it's gonna be like something from like the early like 90s or like the mid 80s.
Do you consider, like either of you, do you consider your cars to be something that's going to become a classic?
I mean, my car, it's the last Rotary that Mazda made. Even though it didn't live up to the expectations after the RX-7, I think it's still like there's like historic value behind it.
I mean, my car is just a copy. It's just a rebranded Holden Monaro, so it's not really a muscle car. So
yeah,
or an American muscle car at least.
It's an Australian
muscle
car.
There's sentimental value to that, so that makes sense as to why you keep that.
Yeah, like the Trans Am I have, I'm probably gonna sell the Trans Am just to get like a better Trans Am. By better, I mean like maybe I want to get a project. Like I want a 79 Trans Am project. Just nothing complicated. Just
imagine selling your Trans Am, and like the guy's like, "So why are you selling the car?" And you're like, "To buy a better one."
Yeah, I want a different Trans. So why don't you want this one?
That's a valid answer though.
I mean, if I had no,
and you're just like, you don't know how to shop for cars.
I'd be like, bro, if I had more money, I would just get a 70, but can't. Dude, I've been I have like Google News now because I'm a filthy pixel user, but I get like random articles and like I'll get a random article about, oh, this random classic car was rescued from a junkyard, and it's like, you see, it was a 70 Challenger like body just at a junkyard, and it's like, who didn't see this? How has this been here?
Yeah,
who didn't take this? Like, do you think there's still like barn finds out there?
Yeah, no, there was one just recently. I think it was a Ferrari.
Like real ones?
Yeah, hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Because there's got to be only so many barns.
250 GTOs used to be a barn find. The 250 GTOs are worth like $50 million these days. Probably more at this point. Maybe like 70 million for some really good examples. But people used to buy them for like $2,000 as a barn
dog,
find.
I'll give you a really good deal on my GTO. Only 20 million.
Nah, 250 The 250 chassis is amazing. Those cars,
Dog,
all of those are gorgeous. The 250 Lusso, the 250 short wheelbase, 250 GTO.
Yeah, I'm gonna raise that and say actually the best wheelbase and frankly the best car ever made is the Pontiac Fiero, and once you slap a fat Aston Martin V12 in that thing, that's the car.
The Fiero is your go-to, like.
Bro, the Fiero is. Listen, I will have a Fiero. It's gonna be insane and unsafe, and it's also gonna have a Performante body kit, a homemade body kit, at a construction.
Oh, please! I don't understand. Why do people do that? Like those like replica body kits.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but like, does anyone actually do it like to be serious, or like is it just like a meme?
No. Well, like think about it. If it's a project car, at the end of the day, most people are just running it at the track. If it's something like if they're building a track car,
yeah,
and they just want to use it to like for whatever. But at the end of the day, you have a fast car, and if you have a body kit on it, like fuck it, why not? It's fast, right? It's a fast car.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing a fake Performante or Fiero Performante pull up on a real Performante, and it's just flying because it's a death trap and it weighs nothing. It weighs like 1,000 pounds.
No, I get that. I like cars that are like ironic cool.
Yeah, like all sleepers.
Yeah. Like that Accord. There was an Accord with like an Aventador body kit on it. That's like maybe a little too extreme, but like that's like the gist of like.
Yo, remember when I wanted to put the Lambo doors on the Maxima? That's the Rxe.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like that's like funny. That's what I wanted to do in the Integra.
Honestly, I think.
Wait, where's this Accord Aventador body kit?
Here, let me see if I can find.
That's insane. If that's real.
Here, this is it. I'm not gonna play it with the sound though. How do I share the screen?
You know what I think is a debate worth having? Lightning McQueen, what kind of car is he?
I don't know.
He kind of looks like a Corvette, but like the front is too like rounded.
He's like a Corvette Mustang.
Yeah.
Wait, that's an Accord?
Yeah. But like, when you look at it, there's nothing like identifiable that it's an Accord. That's why this is like probably one of those best like, you know, whatever you call these.
David Peep.
What? Ooh, Countach. But that's not
a Fiero.
That's not a real Countach. Oh, that's a. Hold on, I have to put this up.
That's a Fiero, dog.
That's crazy.
Bro, the average person would not know. They just feel like, oh, that's some weird.
Yeah, I mean the dimensions are clearly not like a real Countach, but that's actually pretty crazy.
No, I want the Koenigsegg Corvette. Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool actually. The let's see if I could find it. Agera C5.
I really want an Aston Martin Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
Those things look insane.
Oh, the one that you were just talking about?
It's basically like an LMP1 prototype that's road legal.
I think it was on Instagram. It just, I don't know. Some cars, like, I just don't understand how they're road legal.
Like what car?
720S. That thing's just way too fast. I haven't driven it, so I can't say. But like, from like what everyone says, it's just like they're all like it's way too fast for like it to make sense.
But how much horsepower is in it?
And then there's the Senna.
What's the torque, dog?
It's not even the horsepower, the torque, like the torque or anything. It's just like the way the car drives. Like,
but it's definitely the horsepower. Like that's what makes it fast.
What?
Like,
no, like around a track, that thing has like less horsepower. I don't know. I don't remember the exact like which car was against what.
720 horsepower. So therefore, usually the 720, the regular one has 720 horsepower.
Yeah.
And usually the S has like 50 to 60 more horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like a Demon has more horsepower than that. It's not. It might not.
Yeah,
be as
but
fast,
you can't be.
It's still the same. You still have crazy amount of power. That's a dangerous car to have, a Demon. Like
they
even make you sign a waiver before you.
I'd say the Demon's probably more dangerous than the McLaren 720S.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely say that because
that's only the fact that it'll fall off the side of the road.
Yeah. Like you can't do the same thing in a Demon, obviously, that you can in a McLaren.
I would much rather have the McLaren. Yes.
That's like actually controllable. So if you're going that crazy level of fast, it's because you're willingly doing so.
Yeah. Well, I had a Hellcat come in at work, and it just like he gave me the red key, which is the one that lets you have like the full horsepower of the car. And I
gave you the red key.
Yeah.
Did he know he was giving you the red key?
That's probably just what he had with him.
Fuck.
Yeah, and you just like lift your foot off the brake, and it just like starts driving. Like it just there's so much power, and then the slightest bit of throttle. Like I was like turning, I was backing out of the bay, and then I was turning to drive it back up to the front, and like I wasn't even trying to. Like it was the last thing that was like going through my mind, but like I actually spun the back tires. Just it has a ridiculous amount of horsepower.
I've seen videos of Demons on the highway just spinning their tires at 100 miles an hour, and it's like okay.
That sounds like
a Demon might actually be the most ridiculous like street legal car.
Because just for the fact that like they even like the waiver they make you sign even says like, oh, you shouldn't drive the car with do they only come with the racing tires? I think the Demon, you shouldn't drive it under 19 degrees Fahrenheit.
Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, because I think it depends what package you get, but some packages they give you like slicks. They give you slicks that you could switch out.
Well, there's one package you could get that you'll have the slicks to put on at the track.
Yeah. So you get to the track and you just switch them.
Yeah.
I think there's also something with not the fuel gauge. Oh my god. Something with the computer that you have to change. I think it's the sending unit. Maybe not the sending unit.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They have to change to
actually
get like
swap
the
out
entire
a component.
horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the steering wheel, right?
No, it's. I think it's like an ECU or something.
I think yeah.
They showed that on the Grand Tour where they basically put like whole toolkit with an ECU and tires.
And you have to do all of that work. Well, the irony was because he was going to show like his car was so much faster than the other cars, but like in the amount of time it takes to set all of that up, like the other cars are just like gone.
Yeah.
But I get it. If you're trying to run down the drag strip, like, you know, do you?
You know,
I think the Red Eye is nicer than the Demon.
You know what's gonna be crazy?
I agree.
The Tesla.
Oh, the Roadster? Yeah.
Tesla Roadster, that thing's going to be 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, and that's the base model.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't even talked about the performance model yet.
Electric motors.
I mean,
is it actually going to be real low? Is one ever going to hit the streets?
Yeah, but it's not faster than my GTI, bro.
I'm just 1.9 seconds, and that's the base model.
Mm-hmm.
Gee.
No, cars are getting ridiculous.
I'm very excited though. Like, dog, 0 to 60 times. When I see like when every time Tesla like came out with their like new models, I just look at those 0 to 60 times. I'm like, keep going.
They're not
beautiful.
They're cool, but they're not actually that great of like cars to drive.
No, if you've ever done a 0 to 60 in like a Model 3, it's not exciting at all. Because you have...
Well, no. The torque is nice, but like as a car, I didn't really like driving the Model 3.
It is ultimate heist vehicle.
Because it's quiet.
We gotta go. All right, instant torque and no sound.
Well, when I drove a Model 3, what I noticed was it's just weird because there's not the whole like engine element, the sound, the vibration or anything. And then going from a stop and flooring it, it doesn't actually feel that fast. But when it feels fast is when you're at like a 20 roll and then you floor it up to like 60. That's when it feels fast.
I felt the opposite. I thought that it was pretty quick from like 0 to 20, and then after that I was just bored.
Really?
It's because you get used to it.
And also, the steering feel was like garbage.
Oh yeah, no, that was something I noticed as well. Even in like the tightest steering setting, it just still felt like artificial.
No, it wasn't that it was like mush. So it goes exactly where you want. So it's very, very direct.
But it doesn't feel natural. It feels like...
No, there's no feel at all. It's not like it doesn't feel natural. There's just no feel. It feels like a video game. It's just like, not even like a video game. It's just like, you don't feel any grip. Like, it's just like, okay, so the car's going. I don't know how much I have left. And also, your seat of the, like, there's no seat of the pants feel either.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, most of the time, if you don't have really great steering feel, like, you feel the grip through the seat. But you don't get any of that. So the entire driving experience is numb. And you have to rely on the sound of the tires in order to know how much grip you have.
Yeah, it's very unique, but like not preferred.
What's really cool though is that there's a lot of grip out of the corners, so you could rock it out of corners, but then like once you get like rocking out of the corners, like once you're at like 50 miles an hour in a tight corner, there's like nothing left after that.
And how come their top speed is only 150, dog? What is this? These are the streets. We need to go at least 200.
I mean, electric motor limits probably.
No, I don't believe that. I feel like electric motors, it's just like a safety thing.
Well, yeah, that and probably like the heat and the energy consumption.
Well, the battery,
I mean, we use gas
or whatever, and they probably overheat or something.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. There's like a converter, because the battery is stored in DC and then the motors are AC, so there's like something in there that has to convert there.
Yeah.
There's like a
what about cooling?
Well, that's what the Taycan has. It has a cooling system for the battery.
Nice.
But we are like running out of time. And there's just one question from Neil, and he says, "What is the best rotary engine?" I don't know. Do you guys have any answers?
Oh yeah, I do. The LS1 is the best rotary engine.
Shut up. Okay.
It's not a rotary engine, but you should look in that way. It'll be much more reliable and cheaper to work on.
No. Okay, I think
that is...
Well, I think everyone's favorite rotary engine is probably the 13B RAW from the FD-RX-7. That's with the turbo. I think that the 20B 3-rotor is a really good engine. But if we're talking about like any rotary engine, whatever the rotary was that they had in their LMP1 car that got banned because it was so good.
There was a LMP1 car?
I think it was an LMP1 car.
I didn't. Oh wait!
It literally got banned because it was like a cheat code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is probably the best rotary overall.
I think the WEC is probably I think is the coolest race series.
Do you like the WAC? That's crazy.
WEC? Awesome. Formula 1's kind of like going downhill-ish. But WEC's...
Well, don't they go left usually? They have hills now?
What? The WEC? That's like
nothing.
Long.
The what?
Endurance racing. The World Endurance
Oh, okay. I'm very confused.
All right. Well, on that note, is there anything that you guys want to plug?
Yeah. If you're looking for a 2003 Ford F-150, hit David up anywhere. Or a Trans Am. Yo, if you want any car, hit him up. I have it. All right?
Okay, well...
That's all.
The two cars that you currently have are the Trans Am and the F-150.
Yeah.
So, hit me up for that. What about you, Brandon? Anything to plug?
Anything relevant to plug to this crowd?
Oh, Brandon needs tires.
Oh, yeah, if you guys want to start a GoFundMe for Brandon's tires...
No, if you guys want to make an investment in America's #1 up-and-coming rally driver and get him tires, he'll bring you home the trophy this season. Guarantee you.
Yeah, buy him some good Pirellis.
Yeah. Get you a nice undercoat with that GoFundMe.
Some Italian tires on his Japanese car.
Just like World War II. All right, let's end the podcast. Goodbye, guy.
All right, thanks for coming on, guys.